Hello everyone watching. My name is Fiona from Mind Your Matter Healing. I am a vibrational therapist and I work with energy therapy and kinesiology to help our bodies operate as best they can, mind, body and soul. But I'm a mum and a wife. I have 3 kids. I, like many others out here and probably everyone watching, I'm trying to homeschool my children in an environment that is full of distractions. I'm distracted. We're all distracted. And we and our children are sitting in a house full of distractions, all the things that are normally there to entertain them and help them relax after school. And now we're all sitting at home trying to get our children to focus and learn. So I thought today I would come on and give you all some tips that I use with my children and are very commonly used in kinesiology to help this sort of thing for our children and ourselves as adults to learn, to focus, to have an organized neural network connection. Also, I thought I would do something to help with our immune system too. Hey Renee, good to see you this way. So I'm going to try and keep this quite short and sweet and effective. We're all probably in our lunch break if you have a schedule with your homeschooling. So I did a little post before. I'm not sure if people are ready to reach for a cup of tea or a wine. There's lots of jokes going around because this is tricky to handle for all of us, particularly if you're trying to work from home and homeschool and do all the other things that we need to do in life. So if you want any more information about these techniques, technically how they work, or any other information or assistance, send me a message later. But now I'll just try and quickly go through. I've got 4 particular things that I would like to show you, and I'll briefly explain what they're doing to help. And then if you want to try and implement this with your children, do it in a way that suits your children, because they're all different. They're all different ages. I've got a 6-year-old boy who will go along with me doing these things, imagining, superhero poses or something like that. Whereas I've got a 13-year-old who comes kicking and screaming and might do it just to shut mum up. So if you think you'd like to try this, try it on yourself for sure, and then try and come up with a little way or a framework that you think your own children will accept it. Otherwise, you can get them to watch this and say, hey, look at my new crazy friend on Facebook and look what she does, and they can watch and go through the process. But firstly, I just want to do one for our immune system. They say with the whole issue that we're going through at the moment, the coronavirus, that children are less likely to be susceptible to this. And in a way, their immune system is so active through childhood and teenage years, they very well might be able to fight this off better than us, who have, a history of fatigue, bad eating habits and whatever that has reduced our immune system. So we have a gland in our body called the thymus gland, here in the chest, in between the lungs. And this gland is responsible for producing white blood cells or T cells, which is the powerhouse of our immune system. And it actually stops optimally functioning in our older teenage years. And by the time you're 60 or 70, it's really just a lump of fatty tissue. But in these young developing stages, this thymus gland is working 100 miles a minute, trying to produce these T cells to keep the immune system strong. It also has a connection to other glands in the brain that release hormones, the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. So this very simple exercise boosts your immune system, but it also stimulates the brain to release some happy hormones as well, some dopamine and things that make us feel calm, remind us to feel joy. So without going into too much technical detail, this exercise is so simple. It's called the thymus thump. And I'm also going to use 2 hands to do it to bring in the right and left side of the brain. And it's as simple as anyone seen the movie Tarzan? Everybody's kind of heard of him. He's thumping on his chest. And apes do this as well before they go in and, want to challenge another male to get off their territory. And it is simple as this. Now, I'm thumping with alternate hands on the thymus gland. See if you can hear my voice. I've got a little bit of pressure in this thump. I'm not just tickling it. So if you can do this for 30 seconds and some deep breaths, even try and think of something that makes you happy while you're doing it. It helps the stimulation of those happy hormones, the endorphins, the dopamine coming from the brain. And it is that simple. So if you've got kids, little boys, little girls, tell them we're going to do the Tarzan thump. And this is great to do every morning. It's that simple, the thymus thump. That is the first and a really powerful exercise to do. If you want to be a bit more gentle on yourself, you can even just hold your hand here. The deep breathing, even close your eyes and get in the moment and just spend half a minute with yourself. Great for the immune system, gives us a little bit of joy. Okay, so that is the first exercise. The second one is a 3-phase exercise, and it's for neurological switching. So when we're stressed, we have kids out of their normal environment and we're trying to get them to learn, let alone all the other life that has led up to this particular point. Our brain has a right and left side, front and back, top and bottom. And to work optimally, we want them all to be quite balanced so our information can come in and be organised well into the brain. So neurological switching. The way we do this is in 3 parts, as I say. Can look a little bit funny, so again, try and find a way to deliver it to your children that they're going to accept. You can call them superhero points. We're going to use this point. This is a funny one. We're going to do a duck face like this. And then we're also going to rub our tailbone. Depending how young they are, they might like, I don't know, animals. Align it with cats, something like that. So it's as simple as putting a flat palm over your navel, and this grounds our energy down. And the first one we do, this point here, this is for right and left side of the brain, just under where the collarbone finishes here. So you can just rub these points with your hand on your belly. And again, breathing is key. Nice deep breaths. This is great for things like dyslexia. If you get confused, right, left side in the mirror, that sort of thing. And this is quite important, where when we have gone through a stressful experience, the brain is so clever that it decides it doesn't want to actually follow that neural pathway anymore. It's too stressful over there, so I'm going to go the long way to think about this issue. And, we can really bypass parts of our brain and make it less effective. So by doing this neurological switching, it just really encourages the brain to equal out these sides again. So we do this for about 30 seconds or as long as your child will tolerate it. So this is right and left side of the brain. If they're really into it with you, it is recommended to swap hands and do it again. Because again, we really want to balance the right and left side of our brain and our body. That's super important. If we're too much on one side of the brain, we can be really over analytical of things and emotionless. Or if we're too much on the other side of the brain, we can be overly emotional and not rational. So if we can equal out these 2 parts, we will get a much better result in our thinking and our emotions. So that is the first one. The second one, as I say, is like the duck face. So we have 2 points here, just above our lip and just below our lip. So we use the fingers like this, 2 fingers in our thumb. You can get them to wobble it, make a funny sound if that makes it, more enjoyable for them. But it's a matter of just rubbing wobbling. Any way you can stimulate these 2 points here. And this balances top and bottom part of the brain. And again, it's things like, height perception. These neurological switching issues, they can cause, as I said before, dyslexia. You might notice that your child writes or cannot write straight in a line. They might always write on a slope. These neurological switching points can really help those sorts of issues. So again, about 30 seconds each one, or as long as they'll tolerate, and swap hands and do it on the other side. And then the third one is balancing front and back part of the brain. Front and back brain are like polar opposites, and we really want them working together. So it is, again, palm on the navel. We'll do it this way, and just with 2 fingers, just to rub your tailbone, where your tail would come out. If you want to be cat boy, in, what's that show? PJ Mask. Anyway, as I say, think about what your kids like, or just make them do it. Okay, just on there, and then again, swap sides, about 30 seconds. Okay. Now, the third exercise I want to show you is one we call the zip up in kinesiology or energy therapy. And what we're working with here is the premovascular system of the body, or you're all probably heard of acupuncture, acupressure. We're working with the meridians. The meridians, or the premo system, is a bit like the energetic blueprint for our vascular, our blood network system, and our nervous system as it gets laid down. So this one is really super simple, and we're working on the central meridian, which runs really from the perineum up to the bottom part of the lip here. This is a real point of control for our central nervous system as well. So if your child is really nervy or quite non-sensory, their central nervous system may not be working effectively. So this kind of turns it on or boosts it up. It also encourages the energy and the blood flow to come up this central meridian up to the brain where we need it. This point here is actually a hypnotism point. It really heavily attaches to the brain, where we often find when we're thinking we'll rub our chin, because our body knows what to do to help us. Tapping this point, rubbing this point, it helps our memory. So this exercise is, say, super simple, and we call it the zip up. You can do it with 1 hand, but preferably 2, and you just really want to run your hand from your pubic bone up to your chin. So again, make it as fun for your kid as you want to. You can do that just several times. Breathing in too as you do it. You can even tell them, bring your hand all the way up, doing your zipper up. All your energy is your own. Turn the key in the lock and throw the key away. It's that simple. That is the zip up. 2 hands. Okay. Now the last point I want to show you today is working on the ESR points. These are the emotional stress release points, and these are on our forehead. On your forehead, you'll find your skull kind of protrudes a little bit up here. Okay. And again, these are vascular points, and we're encouraging the blood flow to get here to the prefrontal cortex of the brain. When we are stressed, you've all probably heard of the flight, fright, freeze situation that we get ourselves in when we're stressed. When we're in that stressful mindset or environment, which we all are, particularly at the moment, our brain is in the lower back part of the brain. It's the reptilian part of the brain. It is where we are just responding on instinct for survival. This is the survival part of the brain. This is also where there's a lot of like pre-recorded loops of all the things that we've heard, and we tell ourselves, we're not good enough, I can't do it, and it's really hard to quieten that part of the brain. So we want the blood flow and the energy to be here in the prefrontal cortex, which is where we have our our more analytical skills. We have more common sense. We can learn new skills. We can rationally think of solutions in this part of the brain. So we can stimulate it as easily as putting our hand on our forehead And again, we know what to do. When we want to calm ourselves or a child, we'll have our hand on our forehead, or we might stroke a child's forehead to calm them down. And there's a more powerful way to work with these points. If you've got a child or even yourself just really having an emotional breakdown, the world is just all too much, we can help release the energy that is building up and really get the blood flow here so we can start to think rationally again. So again, however you can get your kids to do it, you can tell that it's their antennas so they can tune into a better radio station, or where their horns grow out when they're really wild, up to you. But it's a matter of just lightly touching that part of the forehead, or if it works better for your child, just to put your hand here. So if you're in a real moment of stress or trauma and you want to help yourself through it, or you want to help your child through it, holding these points here and think about the stressful moment. This is supporting you energetically and emotionally while you're thinking about the stressful moment. And what you want to do is get in control of the picture. So if you can imagine this stressful moment that you're in, or the stressful event, go through it in your mind, but remind yourself that you're in control. Think of it like it's a movie. Speed it up, put it in fast forward, and then rewind the memory, slow it down. Still thinking about the memory, try and change it from color to black and white, just to prove to yourself that you are in control of this memory, all the while holding these points, either with your palm or like this, supporting yourself while you're going through this thought process. Always breathing as deeply as you can to get to that point of calm as well. Now, once you've proven to yourself you have control of that memory by speeding it up, slowing it down, changing the color, whatever you want to do, you can change voices in your memory to a funny voice, change it to a Mickey Mouse voice or something to take the pressure off. And then use your imagination to rewrite the scene how you would have done it better. And again, speed it up, slow it down to prove to yourself you are in control. And play with this sort of stuff. But that's a really important one for yourself, because we have all been forced into a situation we never have before. So anything like this that can get us to just focus inward on ourselves and find that place of calm instead of outward where it's not so calm, anything's going to help. 2 or 3 other key things for all of us is breathe deep. Belly breathe, stimulating the diaphragm, tells the body that you're calm. You're not in a state of panic. You are in control of your mind, body and soul. And to remember that is the most powerful thing you'll ever do in your day. Secondly, drink water. Drink bloody lots of water. Your kids and us, we don't need soft drink and fruit juice. Sure, have a cup of coffee or a drink of wine or something like that to get you through, but we need to drink water, seriously, and clean water if you can get it. And thirdly, sunshine and fresh air. I've got a house full of devices, and to get children away from devices is hard work, but we've got to do it. All of us have to do it. So get outside. Challenge them. I'm going to race you to the fence and back, and that's good enough. Just to get them getting outside again, getting sensory, and feel that sunshine on your face while we have it. Again, for your immune system, we need vitamin D from the sun for our body to actually absorb vitamin C, which is imperative, particularly for this coronavirus. We're going into the cold and flu season anyway, so all of this is going to help. I don't know what time it is, but I think I've spoken enough. I really wanted this to be quick, short, succinct. As I said, if anybody really wants to know the more technical detail as to how and why these things work, hit me up and I'll shoot you reams of information. But it is this simple. So in summary, drink water, breathe, get in the sunshine, bit of fresh air. And then we had the thymus thump. We had the neurological switching points and tailbone. We had the zip up for the central nervous system. This is going to bring you more vitality as well, getting some energy and blood flow coming up the body instead of heavy. We're sitting down at home all the time. And then this ESR point is a beautiful thing to do to yourself. So that's it from me. Good luck. Try it with your kids and see if you notice a difference. My poor kids, I make them do a little energy routine nearly every morning, and it's brilliant. There's so many things you can do for yourself. As I say, we are in control of us. Don't let the world tell you otherwise. Stretch your body, get room, blood flow, space within yourself so you can create and thrive instead of just survive. That's it from me. So for now, peace, love and mung beans. Thanks for watching and listening, and I look forward to actually hugging you all soon. Love you, Nay. I miss you. I'm coming to see you soon, girl. Okay, bye.